Hi everybody, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. So, so PvZ Garden Warfare 2 it's an online multiplayer shooter. But not the type of shooter you think of when you think of like Call of Duty. It's very much a game that kids can play. It's maybe your parents won't let you get Call of Duty. No, this is an awesome like multiplayer shooter that is aimed towards kids, but also has a lot of depth in it and amazing gameplay that any kind of gamer can enjoy. So I want to start mainly with talking about how the game's set up, and that's how I'm going to talk about like the couple different sections of what is in the game. So first, I'm going to talk about the home base, which is like this. See, well, the home base, it's not really much of a base as like this is the menu for the game. Instead of hitting a button for multiplayer, you go to a certain place. So there is this like you have this backyard warfare is what's going on, and you have this giant backyard where you have the house, you have the plants have like this base on one side, which is the house, and the zombies have this castle on the other side, which is, this big castle. And in the middle, there is this never ending battle. And this is just like a map that you're walking around. It's a map just like any of, it's a big area. It's probably, comparable to a size of the map in the, or map in the game. Probably bigger, I would say. But, this is like the menu of the game. This is where you go when you start the game. So let's say you boot it up, you're a plant, you're on the plant side. You have all these different options. You have multiplayer, you have character select, you have all these different stats in the back. It shows you all the characters you've unlocked. And this whole thing acts as the menu. But the really neat thing is it's a map in itself too. So you're not just going from base to maybe fighting some people out there to doing whatever, just you're not staying in your base. There's all this area to explore. There's this little town off to the one side, there's these sewers off to the other side, and it's like there's a lot of stuff to do there, and it's really cool. You can do quests there if you want to just play the game and run around there and kill some zombies or kill some plants. You can, and it's a really neat setup. And the really neat thing about it is like there's these chests everywhere. And the chests, you need like a certain amount of stars to unlock. So you do these quests on the quest board, and the quest board gives you stars after you complete it, and then you unlock these chests. So it gives you reasons. The chests are there for you to explore the map itself, but then you also just want to look around, because there's really neat things. There's cool things that are hidden. And it's just, I love the idea of this home base. There's this really cool thing where there's always this war going on in the middle. Like, you really are part of this Plants vs. Zombies war. And, I mean, being a Plants vs. Zombies fan for, since the first game, this is amazing. Like, this is, like, the kind of game that I've been looking for from PvZ, but never knew that I wanted. It's really neat. So, I mean, that's the home base, but then you kind of get into single player. So, it is very light on single player, but there's two different options. You can play it as the plants, or you can play it as the zombies. And there's, a little bit, I can't even say it's a story. It's just single player quests, and you're kind of helping out certain characters do these things. And yeah, there's a story if you read into it, but like, is there really much there? No, you don't have to read it. It doesn't matter. You're just doing it for gameplay. So, but there's a lot of fun in those things. And there's a lot of quests, but they're all pretty short. I'd say, man, like maybe a couple hours on each side. Like maybe, I'd say 4 hours on either side you could probably spend on it. The only thing about the quests is when you get far in the quest line, they get really hard. And like, I thought this was only single player. Like, I didn't think you could play it with friends, so it's not. I don't know if I was missing that aspect of it, but nonetheless, it was fun. I just had these lot of revives at the end because, like, I'd be playing as one character, and then these like giant monsters would come out, and then it's like, all right, time to die a few times. But it's all really fun. And the other kind of option you have for single player and multiplayer, if you want, is Garden Ops, which is really just like a horde mode. So you get dropped in a map, and you just fight off waves. You're defending a point. You can play it with AI buddies, which makes it more difficult. Like you pick a buddy, and it says enemies will become more difficult, and you can play up to 4 things. So you could have 4. You could have 3 friends with you, or you could have 3 AI characters, and both ways are fun. It's actually like the AI controls really well. You can switch characters so you can play as those people. So let's say you want to play Garden Ops, and you can kind of like strategically set up your team for like the kind of characters you need. So like there was Garden Ops segments in the single player game. So I would pick like me play as a melee character, and I would have one of the AIs be like maybe more of a sniper or just more of a distance character. So I had that option, or even like you have the AI be the medic character. And it's just you have these combinations you can do that make Garden Ops really cool, but I mean, in the end it varies just much. You run-of-the-mill horde mode, you set up these turrets which you unlock, and stuff like that. Alright, so then we gotta talk about the characters, because there's a lot of really awesome characters on both sides. There's a big roster of zombies and plants, and I don't even think I've unlocked all of them yet. I look at it and it seems like it's a little short. Like I remember seeing, I feel like, more pictures of them, but nonetheless, I already have my favorites. And so on the zombies side, I love playing as Super Brains. He's this he's this like superhero turned into a zombie, and he can jump really high. He can do this like jump kick where he flies at an enemy, shoots this like energy ball. But he's definitely your melee character. You have these really strong punches. You have a beam that you can shoot out of your hands if you aim, but like the punches are where it's at. It's really cool. And the other power up is you just spin around, and like you turn into like this tornado of pain is what I like to call it. But my other favorite zombie is the All-Star. And I play as the rugby variant normally. I think it's the rugby variant. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's my favorite one. But he's really cool because he is just like your, heavy character. He's a big guy. He's got a lot of padding. He has a like a minigun style weapon where he's shooting whatever sports character's ball that you choose. So I think the All-Star itself shoots footballs, but I like shooting the rugby balls. But my favorite thing about him is I've kind of figured out you can almost shoot like never-ending shots if you just kind of time it right. Like you stop right before you'd overheat, because like with him you don't have to even reload. So it's like if you plan that right, he's a really powerful character. You just have to learn how to use him. And on the plant side, I love playing as the Chomper, which is like this Venus flytrap that kind of character that walks around. And he's kind of like the big melee character on the plant side. He does neat things, like he can go underground where people can't get him. He can like sneak around and then jump up and bite them. My other favorite plant character is Colonel Corn, who is a big old piece of corn with machine guns of corn on either hand. And he's just a lot of fun. He's a big, agile character. You're jumping around a lot. You're, shooting and that's really neat. One of my favorite things about this is all the detail. Is like with him, you throw out a baked potato. No, you throw out, what is it? Yeah, you throw out a baked potato. And then like butter like rains from the sky on that, and it's kind of like this. You're marking an area to get like an airdrop, but it's just like the detail that went into that. It's just really cool. So I'm a big fan of the melee characters, as you've seen from what I was talking about, and I really like the zombies a lot more than the plants. I love playing as the zombies. I love playing as Super Brains. He's definitely my favorite character. But there's a lot of neat characters. And the cool thing is like you get that list, but then there's variants on every single character. So I mentioned like All-Star shooting different, sports balls, but you save up points in the game that you get from playing multiplayer. Normally I would get around, let's say, 10, 15,000 a game, sometimes even more, from a multiplayer match. And once you get up to a certain amount, you could spend that on a new character, or you could just buy packs that give you sometimes parts that you put together, but I would always spend it on the full character. And there's different variants on every single guy. Like, every single guy has like 5 to 10 different variants you can get. So, like, Super Brains I still play as the standard one, but I said, like, the All-Star I like playing as the rugby guy. Colonel Corn, I got this, variant on him that I like to play as. Chomper, I have this one that, like, your normal melee attack, instead of chomping, you're breathing fire. Like, there's just lots of, really neat things added to the game through that, and it kind of makes you want to try out different characters because you unlock, variants of that character all the time. And there's so many different options, I can't imagine me ever being, like, tired of unlocking more. And you just unlock them by playing. Like, you play a lot, and you play a good bit, and that's the neat thing, is, like, you don't feel, and I can't remember if there is microtransactions or not in the game, but from me playing, you don't feel like you have to pay for it. Just because there is this currency in the game, like the coins, that you use to unlock those packs, but, you never feel like you need to unlock those packs, except if you're doing the single player and you need turrets or revives. But like in multiplayer, you never feel like you need it. Like, you can play as the base characters; they're all really powerful, and you can play as, they do like hero showcases, so they give out rare characters for a few days, let people try. But it's I can't remember if there is or there isn't microtransactions, but you don't need to use them. That's the neat thing about this game. It doesn't shove them down your throat. Like, I spent $6 on the game, and I get an awesome game with that. So, moving on from the characters, I got a little sidetracked right there. I'm talking about the worth of the game. But, multiplayer, the big final component of this game, the big part of it. And, it's a lot of fun. I still play it every once in a while. There was a big, when I first bought it, like when it came out, I was playing it a lot. I definitely play less of it now with things like Dark Souls, Enter the Gungeon, Ratchet and Clank. I'm just not jumping back into Plants vs. Zombies. But it's one of those things that I really think I'm gonna, keep it on there to keep playing. But, at least just the multiplayer, since it'd be the single player. But, I don't really have favorite maps. I really like all of them. Like, there's not many that I really dislike. Like, I just had to pick favorites. Like the Snowy Village is really fun. The one where you're traveling through time a lot leads to some really cool battles. But they're all good. I really haven't gotten to a map where I'm like, I hate this map. And I remember that always happening to me in Call of Duty, where I'd get to a map and I would dislike it. But I guess I really am not having that issue, which is awesome. It's a really neat thing to have. No complaints. But the saddest thing in the game is, like, when someone kills you a couple times and they're on the mic and they sound like a 8-year-old. It's like, oh, all right, here we go. But other than that, like, the multiplayer is awesome. And in all, this game is really fun. I really can't recommend it enough. Like, these kinds of games, they drop in price, pretty fast. I think I saw it the other day for like $30 at GameStop. I wouldn't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. And I highly recommend it. Like, I had a lot of fun with this game. You didn't even want to jump in and just play some multiplayer every once in a while. It's like really, really awesome. And just the attention to detail, like, there's so much detail in this game. There's so much depth that, like, don't look at this game as a kid's game, because, like, really, it's just a game. Like, that's a neat thing about, like, games like this and Ratchet and Clank is, like, yeah, they can be enjoyed by kids, but they're also just really, really good games. Like, it's just, there's a lot here. And there's a lot to enjoy. So I'd highly recommend it. If anyone ever wants to play this game with me, let's say you pick it up and you want people to play with. I don't really play with many people, so friend me on PlayStation Network. My username is the same as my YouTube channel, The Dr. Devin. And, if you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on Twitter. Same thing, Dr. Devin. So, thanks everybody for listening, and I'll catch you guys next time.